Hello, Miss Shay Wood. How are you?
I'm fine, Ashley. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. Thank you so much for agreeing to be interviewed for my Spirit Spotlight series, where we talk to Black spirit owners to hear about their journey to owning a spirit in such a competitive market. So I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with me today.
Well, thank you for this opportunity. I'm always very interested in talking to new people about Bespoke Spirit, since it's our new brand expansion of Harlem Haberdashery. So I'm really excited to share our journey with you.
Yes, you have a lot going on. You must have more hours in the day than I do, because you are just Miss Entrepreneur, wife, mother, philanthropist. Tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got started.
Well, one, I always say I must be a magician, because sometimes I don't understand how I'm able to do everything. But Harlem Haberdashery started about 10 years ago. But to get the full scope of our parent company, 5001 Flavors, I have to go back 28 years. I started with my husband in 1992. 5001 Flavors is the parent company of Harlem Haberdashery. It is a custom clothing and bespoke clothing company. We make and design clothing for personalities in the entertainment industry. So that's for tours, award shows, big screen, small screen, red carpet appearances, for family members, and any and everybody in the entertainment industry loves unique individuality. They love statement pieces. So we make all of those clothing. So we have a fashion/entertainment background. 10 years ago, we wanted to start Harlem Haberdashery, which is the retail expression of 5001 Flavors, still branching out from fashion, getting more into retail instead of just a service industry, but working with people who are not celebrities, but have their own red carpet moment. So still is fashion. But we knew that we wanted to be more of a lifestyle company. So HH Bespoke Spirit is our first brand expansion from fashion and retail into the spirits category. So we're really interested in working and promoting bespoke customization. So as we work with our clients and customers for their celebratory moments in their lives, we also celebrate now with the spirits. So for us, it was a perfect integration into a different category. The product definitely has the same concept that we have in all of our offerings in 5001 and Harlem Haberdashery: unique, bespoke, customized, quality. We like to promote our family-owned business. So of course, all of the family members, love the product and promote it. So it really is about creating a business of transferable business legacy, and trying to really bring in the other generations of our family to support our brand as we grow it.
That sounds amazing. I love you're talking about generational wealth. I mean, as Black people as a whole, that is a problem for us. So I love to hear that you are doing that for your future generations of your family. That's amazing. And you are a native New Yorker, right?
I am. I was born and raised in Harlem. So was my husband. So we are native New Yorkers, and live in Jersey now, but still have a huge connection to Harlem because a lot of our family members are there. We were both born and educated in Harlem. So it really is about kind of coming back to where I always say my husband got his fashion sensibility and where, I was raised. So it's important for us to have our first store in Harlem Haberdashery, even if, we plan to kind of branch out into different retail areas and cities, possibly. Harlem will always be home to us.
And I saw that your store is in Malcolm X's old house. How did that come about?
So unknowingly, it happened. I grew up on Lenox Avenue, maybe about 20 streets away from where the store is. And so that building has always spoken to me somehow. For many years, it was abandoned. It's a 5-story building, and it had a tree from the basement all the way to the roof growing through it.
Wow.
And so when the revitalization of the community was happening and someone brought it, and I saw kind of the progression of the building coming back to life, it was designated as a landmark. It was renovated. It has full floor residences. It was beautiful. And so when Guy and I decided to branch out from 5001 and it was a retail space, I was like, I love it. I love the mixed use that has a residential, so it has like soul in the building. It's a family owned and operated boutique. We're able to style it kind of like as a brownstone. We have a beautiful backyard court. So it was kind of the perfect space to base the Harlem Haberdashery vision that we had about creating a retail store that will branch out into lifestyle. So it kind of was the perfect space. It's about 2 blocks away from 125th Street, which is the, you know, the main thoroughfare and of business uptown in Harlem. So it was the perfect opportunity. It's very convenient to all train lines, you know, transportation hubs. So it was kind of like the perfect place. And so the bonus was to learn that that was previously Malcolm X residence, and that was something that was kind of a sweet surprise.
Yeah, I can, even as you're talking, like I can see all the people walking. I can see, you know, just the activity in New York when we're really able to travel again freely. I'll have to come visit you.
That's easy. We love visitors, and unfortunately, that social part of our business has not been what it could be. We're very active in the community. Like I said, we're a family-owned and operated boutique, and we honestly believe that there's a commitment, a social responsibility to give back to Harlem instead of just being a business that consumes. You have to support Harlem through our 501c3 Take Care of Harlem. We have different community drives that harness community power, donation, and we benefit a lot of local organizations that are community partners with our philanthropic work. So that's important to us too. Unfortunately, that social aspect of our business, you know, unfortunately has to take a backseat to the pandemic and dealing and making sure everyone's safe. But we'll be back next year with all of our regular programming. As you know, we help to raise awareness about Harlem, its needs, and, you know, our support of it.
Awesome. I love Harlem, so I'm definitely gonna have to come visit when I'm in New York. Tell me how you decided on the rum, gin, and vodka for HH Bespoke. Like, are those your favorite spirits? And then the process for getting those started.
Well, we wanted 3 products to come out at one time because we wanted a collection. And we feel like each product stands on its own, but it also makes a great collection for a bar, or for classic cocktail is optimum. For most of the classic cocktails, those are the kind of the basic products that you need. And so we wanted as diverse of products that we could offer at one time. We actually worked with Astra Luna, who is our distiller and manufacturer, and we worked with them to create a profile that we loved. So we talked to them what was important to us. We designed the bottle, just trying to make sure that even if you don't know us as Harlem Haberdashery of 5001, when you see it, you can see kind of the fashion intent. So all of our bottles, that's the rum, all of our bottles have a very unique personality and look. And so our job really was to also kind of dress up the bottle just like we dress up clients that we work with. So we're used to giving everyone a different look, even though there are many people. So all of our bottles are exactly the same, but they just have a different coloring and a different design in the back. So it really is still about bespoke customization. That's really important to us, promoting that across all of our brands. Like I said, a commitment to quality, a commitment to uniqueness, a commitment to statement pieces, and all of those bottles stand alone, look beautiful, but together they make a great collection.
Yeah, those are some beautiful bottles.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you noticed, but even our family is on in the back.
Oh, wow, cool. I love that.
Yeah, so we have a beautiful family portrait of most of our family members that help promote the brand.
That's awesome. How did you choose like the flavor profiles for your alcohol, for your collection? So
anything at HH Bespoke Spirit was a collaborative effort with our family members. And if you follow Haberdashery NYC, which is Harlem Haberdashery's Instagram, or 5001 Flavors, you will see that we really are a family-owned and operated business. So it's my husband and I, my brother, Kels Barnett, my son, Guy Wood Jr., Lewis Johnson, Ashley Muhammad. So these are all personalities that have their own brand in the store, but they also actively and creatively contribute to any component of the business. All of these lovely people on the back of the bottle. So if you get the bottle, you can see them. But it really is about what are we trying to convey? And I would say our brand is about building legacy, it's about tradition, it's about uplifting Harlem, paying homage to our family members. It's about quality, bespoke, customization. So any one of those attributes have to be in our product. When we talked about the product, it was definitely something we wanted to be able to drink straight or neat. I love gin, but I've always loved gin in a cocktail. And so this was like one of the first gins that I love, neat or on the rocks. It has great botanicals in it that kind of soften up that medicinal burn that I never liked in gin. That's why I didn't like gin. And the run is very smooth. It's a young amber aged rum. So it really was about trying to create something that didn't exist in the marketplace, or something that we loved about another brand, and take out something we didn't love. But it really was about, did the entire family enjoy the experience? And so if we think that we're kind of an example of the Black excellence out there, and inspirational and aspirational, we're kind of using ourselves as a litmus test on will the public like it? And so, once we had 10 yeses on the flavor profiles, once we discussed it, it was a go. And I'm really excited about the products that we did come up with, because we've received a lot of positive feedback and everybody loves it. So
you've intrigued me with the gin, because I feel the exact same way you do. Like, I only really like it in cocktails.
I love the botanicals because it really does soften up. And it's very fragrant, and that's something that I had never experienced in gin. So that's why, surprisingly, now I'm probably a gin lover just because of our product.
Oh, I love that, because not only do you have to sell your product, but it's great that you also love it, which I'm sure you sell it as well. Okay, so you met your husband in college and you guys started 5001 Flavors in your dorm room. How has that experience weathered on your marriage now? Because I assume you weren't married in college. You guys got married after you started the business. So how has that sort of shaped your marriage and your relationship?
Well, surprisingly, the company was our first child. You really do have to nourish the business like it's something that you care about, and you have to protect it. It has to come first. You have to talk about it all the time. You have to strategize. You have to feed it. It takes a lot of expenses to run a business, and you really do have to have the love for what you do. And I do love being an entrepreneur. I love creating my own economy. I love being responsible for my own time. I love creating something out of nothing. So I knew I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I'm probably a little bit more administrative, organizational. So I'm glad that Guy and I partnered up, because he's very creative, and it's easy to kind of sell a service, but when you have a creative aspect to it, it becomes a whole nother art form, and I really didn't realize the impact of what we were doing until maybe 10 years in, because the first, few years you're just grinding, you're trying to, be profitable, you're trying to increase your referral base, because like I said, it wasn't, social media wasn't there. So you kind of had to hustle a little bit differently. And so you're really not realizing the impact. And then as our artists started to really, come up on the charts and diversify and get into film and cross over and do all types of other things that I couldn't even imagine. And then I'm starting to see all of these images that we helped create, and all of these record, covers and CD covers and images of the clothes that we make, being shown on the Grammys and on tour buses. And so it started to hit me that there's a real cultural impact to what we're doing. And so the success of my business is the success of my clients, and how well they are literally able to go from obscurity to fame, and talking to, an artist when they literally don't have a deal, and they're asking you to please, could you give me 10 looks because I have to do this, this promo before I get a deal, and then working with them when they're kind of mega superstars. And that's really rewarding. And so then you really see what the benefit, like I said, the cultural benefit, and you're helping create things that are going to live. And so ultimately you become part of history. And so for me, that's kind of the best part of being an entrepreneur, and and that's why 5001 just can continue to succeed, because there's a never-ending supply of personalities in the entertainment industry. Everyone's so creative. The artist becomes the producer, becomes a record label executive, and they have all of these different entertainers that they're pulling through the pipeline. So it becomes a never-ending opportunity. Since you're a referral base, you do a great job, you get new clients from those. So that has been our sustaining force for 28 years. And I would have never imagined that 28 years after starting, that here we are, getting ready for our 30th anniversary.
How did you make that transition? Or, I guess you still do both, but how do you feel like, starting in the spirits industry was different than the fashion industry?
Well, it's very different because it's complete different industries, and I always figured that our fashion business was more of a service industry. Like I said, we're working with different brands and help them maintain and establish their looks. Retail was even different than the service industry, because now you have to have a place that you have to maintain. So Harlem Haberdashery was the first real time that we had a location that someone could come to, because as a service industry, you're working on set and where your clients work. And so even retail was different for us, because it's about establishing a brick and mortar, creating a brand aesthetic, because now you're trying to branch out into lifestyle. So you yourself have to set what your brand aesthetic of Harlem Haberdashery is. And then the industry of the spirits was something that, had I known the complexities, maybe I would not have gotten into it. But it's been such a blessing, because it came out of a sponsorship that then turned into a partnership that allowed us to convey the same type of brand aesthetic for spirits that we did with our main business, Harlem Haberdashery. And so for me, lifestyle was definitely where we wanted to go. And so we were looking and trying to strategize about how can we get to the mass? Because a retail store, you press a button, you make money, you make profit that way. But our goal with lifestyle is to really go across categories. And so that is to have Harlem Haberdashery in different retailers and different categories. So is that home, beauty, accessories, for men, women, children. So we really wanted to diversify the product. So the spirits came along, and it was an excellent category for us. And we thought we could make an impact. There really are not as many Black-owned brands as the market can bear. So why not? It was an excellent opportunity. And we're committed to expanding into categories that make sense for our brand and that are true to our brand aesthetic. So it was definitely something that I didn't plan on, but that's about what happens when you're an entrepreneur. You have to be flexible, and you have to go where the opportunities are. And so you may start off at one point and end at another, and take a detour that you didn't even know that you were going on until you're on that detour.
Right. And I'm sure that's something it seems like you've been an entrepreneur for a long time. So I'm sure that's something you've experienced as the world has changed, as markets have changed. So that flexibility, I imagine, is key.
Well, you have to be flexible, because we started 28 years ago. We're about to celebrate our 30th anniversary in 2022 for 5001. I'm excited. But we literally started that in my dorm room at Columbia. So to see the business has grown is phenomenal. But technology has grown. There was no social media back then. So it's a different era to be an entrepreneur in. And it's exciting to see other people be able to come in and kind of grasp that entrepreneurship space easier and quicker with social media. But it was a long haul, of course, in the early 90s, when you didn't have social media and everything was instant. So it's great to still be here. But you're still learning, and I even learn from younger kids that come in and do such a fantastic job, with the opportunities that they have. So yeah, I love being an entrepreneur, and I love the ability to bring new products to life.
I actually wore this because I knew you were in fashion, so I actually wore like a custom outfit I got in Tanzania. I was like, I feel like I need to be fashionable for this interview with you today.
Everybody loves to make a statement, and that's what we always say. Everyone's their own brand, so that's how 5001 has always thrived. We work with our different clients to help them establish their brand, from an image standpoint, And any one of our clients, you know, and love and see, and they make a fashion statement with every appearance. So that is part of our 5001 traditions, making statements just like you're making.
I saw online that you dressed Biggie Smalls back in the day, and most recently, who was it? I can't remember.
So we've pretty much done everybody. So starting in the 1990s, we did work with Puff, even when Puff was at Uptown Records. Biggie Smalls was one of his, well, that was Biggie Smalls' name before. He had to change it to Notorious B.I.G., so I always call him Biggie Smalls. He was, you know, a client before he had a deal. Most of our clients, we often work with, I say, from obscurity to fame. And we've worked with Usher like that from, you know, when before he had a deal to now. We've worked with basketball players their entire careers. Daddy Yankee is very popular right now. He's one of our big clients, DJ Khaled. But we've done so many artists, over 1,000 in the last 2 years. And often our clients become clients for life because we kind of help them establish their brand identity and help with image consulting. So as they cycle through different stylists and opportunities and diversify their careers, we still work with them because we have an ongoing relationship as we help them establish their image. And so we do understand how that customization and bespoke clothing is so important to people because there's certain design intelligence that comes with that and helping each client define a look that's specific to them.
Have you had a favorite client that you've worked with in the past? And do you have one that you want to work with in the future?
So I never like to say which is my favorite client because I love all of my clients. But I think personally, Christopher Wallace, Notorious B.I.G. were Guy and I, one of our good clients because we became really friends. We kind of started in the industry around the same time, early 90s. It was a really pivotal moment in music. And Christopher was actually my age. We're both the same age. And so we really were able to grow with him from an unknown artist to, unfortunately, to his untimely death. And, you know, just sitting with somebody and talking to them and them telling you about like how their art form is going to change your life and then see them change their life, that really is impactful. Unfortunately, when he passed away, it kind of like hurt me all over because he was only 25 and I was 25 also. And so when you think about how young that is, you know, and almost 20 years later, thinking that, you know, he didn't get a chance to see Tiana and CJ grow up and he didn't get a chance to see how impactful his music is even today. So he was a great client. We have a few other great clients that, you know, have become family members. Fat Joe is one of them. And I think now for us, it more so is about our family and you know, and building our brand. So we're not as, you know, just working on 5001. So we have so many different things to do. But each one of our clients really holds a special place in our heart because we've watched them, like I said, literally grow their careers and build brands around, you know, their creativity and their talent. So as much as I love all of them, I do have a few favorites, but I don't like to say too much.
So with the spirits industry, I imagine with the fashion industry as well, the fashion industry is known for being discriminatory. Have you experienced the same thing in the spirits industry? And if so, like, how have you been able to sort of deal with that to move on?
I think the hardest thing for anybody getting into the spirit industry is resources. Access to capital, access to resources, industry professionals. Unfortunately, it is an old boys club. You know, I went to an Ivy League school, so I understand that mentality. I understand that it's hard to break the tradition. It's hard to break people's patterns of networking and how they access their you know, new brands and new talent. And so it's really hard for you to get a leg up in an industry that's kind of already settled. And is there room for me? Is there room for another great product? I mean, the market is wide open, but really not having those marketing dollars behind you that the big brands have make distribution a little bit harder, to be very truthful. We are a small maker. We are considered a small maker. And so our ability to get a distribution deal was not as easy as if you have marketing dollars or if you have a pre-existing relationship with a distributor. So, you know, at one point it's like, do you self-distribute or do you go with a smaller distribution company that doesn't really have the ability to do what you need it to do? So it's a slower growth, and that's fine. It's a harder growth because you're doing a lot more grassroots, independent working of your label, which is fine. But it would be nice to kind of get a leg up sometimes because what you're doing is constantly knocking down doors. I'm not a salesperson, but you know, being an entrepreneur, if you have to wear that salesperson hat that day, that's what I am. You know, if I have to clean up one day, I'm the janitor. And so you have to do everything when you're an entrepreneur in order to get your business to succeed. But for me, it really is about not having the resources, the financial resources, and like I said, the industry professional access to kind of take our brand from 0 to like 100. So unfortunately, we're building, you know, but so are other Black-owned businesses and brands, and they'll tell you the same thing. Is it's the inability to kind of, you know, have that dollar behind you, those marketing dollars, those mega sales people that can call and get placement instantly. So you're knocking one door at a time. You're knocking liquor store at a time, or another venue, or you know, or another production, you know, space, any place where you can get in. So it really is it's a lot more hustle than I thought it would be. But you know, the blessing is that now there's a lot of spotlight being shined on Black-owned business, which is great. My request is always that people now include Black-owned businesses as part of their regular buying pattern and not just as part of a protest. I think there are some great products, there's some great services, there's some great creatives out there that are doing fantastic things. And we also have to get outside of our patterns and try something new if we're committed to uplifting, you know, Black-owned businesses.
Yes, and I completely agree. I supported Black businesses sort of before all, you know, this most recent uproar. I made it a part of my life, but I'm even more determined now to support Black businesses, including the spirits that I drink. And so I compiled that list of over 70. And I had no idea there were that many spirits, Black-owned spirits.
You just have to do a little bit more research. You may have to walk a little bit further, you know, to access their products. But you have to at least have it in your mind and spirit that this is what I'm going to do. And there's, like I said, there's some good products out there. Just got to, you know, give us Black-owned businesses a chance.
Absolutely. Is there anything you would have done differently in the spirits business up until this point?
I can actually say no. I'm never one to think about regrets. I mean, what I would like to do is probably move a little bit more strategically and expand a little faster than I am expanding. And so I believe that all of that is coming. So I'm just gonna, you know, take my time and learn the industry. One thing is that I didn't necessarily research it as thoroughly as I would have. The opportunity just came and we kind of ran. So I was kind of building the airplane while I was driving it, and that's okay. That's not ideal for everyone. But this is not our main business. So I'm also trying to build and strategize for our other businesses and still make sure this new expansion is you know, protected and grows. So I guess the only thing I would do is more future thinking and more forward thinking is like to try to strategize to move it along a little quicker.
How do we get your product onto more shelves? Like you mentioned, your distribution. How does that work? Like, where are you distributed right now?
So right now we are distributed with LibDib, or Liberation Distribution. It's a smaller distribution area than I would like, but it's a fantastic partner for us because it's allowed us to be in the market and compliant. Like I said, since we are a small maker. Right now we are distributed in New York, Florida, California, Colorado, Illinois, and Wisconsin. And those are the states. Yeah, those are the states that have come aboard. We don't have placement in all of those places because some of those states are just available. So what we are absolutely looking for is new retailers. What is your favorite retailer? Please, look me up. I'm Shay S. Wood on all social media, DM HH Bespoke Spirit. Let us know who's your favorite retailer. Let us know where we should be. If you're a retailer, reach out to us. So it really is about getting people to understand our story through our pre-existing brand, 5001 in Harlem Haberdashery, but really connecting with the retailers and customers throughout the states that we're in, but also other states that we're coming to, so that we can be the first wave of distribution. Florida is a new market, and we don't have any placement yet in Florida. We're actively looking for some great retailers, but that's a great opportunity. There's some a lot of customers down in Florida. California, we have 2 retailers, and so as we have more, we're included in more of your list. We're included in different conversations. The opportunities for retailers to see us is there, and we're able to bring them aboard through LibDip, and ship, and promote, and help each other build traffic, sales, and impressions.
Yeah, I mean, it's available on your website as well. I went to buy it, but then Maryland doesn't allow that, so.
Don't worry about that. I'm going to send it to you. Several of our online retailers, we are allowed to ship. We have Warehouse Wine and Spirits listed on HH Bespoke Spirits on our locator, and we are able to ship to 23 states with them. And through Caskers.com, we're able to ship to 48 states. So the opportunity is there. I know shipping is an extra expense, but until we're able to get wider distribution, you can get it through those 2 outlets.
Yeah, and I think if you really are interested in supporting Black-owned businesses, then a few extra dollars for shipping should be okay.
And in New York, we have a wonderful group of restaurants that also carry HH Bespoke Spirit. A lot of our restaurant partners infuse our products into their food. We have a vendor that makes a lemon vodka cake. Our rum is included in caramel rum sauce in Harlem Chocolate Factory in New York. We have an ice cream with Sugar Hill Creamery in New York made up from the rum. So we have a lot of different food partners that infuse it, not just the liqueurs, but we have a lot of, you can also taste HH Bespoke Spirit at a lot of restaurants in Harlem: Red Rooster, Melba's, Lolo's Seafood Shack, Viniteria, Barrel Wine. So even if you're coming to New York or in New York, you can, look for us in local uptown eateries. Check out our website. We have where we're served and where you can buy us.
Thank you so much for taking the time to interview with me today. I really appreciate it.
Well, I'm excited. Like I said, I always love talking to new people, and definitely please follow us on HH Bespoke Spirit. We're at HH Bespoke Spirit. Harlem Haberdashery is Haberdashery NYC. I'm Shay S. Wood. That's SHAYSWOOD. So definitely follow me and my family and my brands. And I always say, tell a friend. Let us know your local retailer you want us to look into. But please continue to love and support and buy from your Black-owned businesses.